Hi Pisces, I'm Anisha. You can write to me at tarotbyanisha@gmail.com. You can also visit my website www.tarotbyanisha.com, and this is your monthly forecast for May 2015. Pisces, the big news this month is planet Mercury, the ruler of communication, travel, transport, technology, is going to be going retrograde from 18th to 11th of June. And 18th of May to 11th of June, and it's a same Mercury drill during a retrograde. Avoid buying big ticket items, watch out for your communication, written and spoken, and how it is going to be affecting you directly, we'll discuss it a little later. And we begin the month with a very powerful full moon in Scorpio, and that's happening on the 3rd of May, and it's highlighting a part of your chart that has to do with the higher consciousness, it has to do with philosophy, it has to do with travel and some amount of communication that is there. And you could during this time find yourself having a growing more spiritual, or rather having a more spiritual bent of mind, or maybe you could be looking at life quite philosophically at this point of time, and you could be and it's something that will affect you positively. And every time that full moon comes and shines its energy in a part of a chart, it basically says that something has reached to fruition, it's reached to completion. And this is something which has been going on for a while. So it's not something that all of a sudden you thought about. I think all throughout that you have been whether subconsciously trying to connect to a higher self, or maybe that some of you really depend on your instinct or on your gut a lot, and this is a time where you could be really relying on your inner self a lot as well. And it could be that it's also a time where you could either finish a project, a written project of sorts. It could be that some project or something is getting over at work, and it's also a time wherein that you could find yourself growing spiritually or mentally more. You could find yourself connecting more easily with people, and you could find the connection with your mind and spirit to be really, really strong. And this is a time where Pisces, especially, I think for those of you who have been going through financial challenging times in the last 2.5 years, this is a time with I think this entire foundation of this philosophy and this spirituality is really set into it. So a lot of you could have learned in the last 2.5 years to rely really on yourself, on your inner self. So there's a lot of strength that you're going to be deriving from inside, and it's just that entire knowledge about that you are able to connect with your inner self, your higher self. Now Venus is going to be transiting Cancer on the 7th of May, and then she goes in conjunct Uranus towards the end of the month, and Venus is conjuncting your house of love and love, romance, creativity and children. And it's a great time if you've been dating somebody. It's a brilliant time to be dating somebody new, but if you have been dating somebody, I think you would want to take your relationship to another level. It's a very nice, lovely time, and you could be looking at deepening your relationship more, or you could just generally sense that you are that the relationship has reached another level. For those of you who are not in a relationship, you will find that you're able to attract love more easily, quite effortlessly. You'll find that people are attracted to you, and it's less, rather than you chasing. You can just sort of sit back and you have people not literally flocking to you, but yeah, it's not going to be that much of a struggle. Dealing with children is going to be easy. You're going to be finding your children a source of comfort, and there's going to be some pleasure that you're going to be taking. I think for some of you who have very creative children, this is a time where you should be channelizing, or you would be thinking about really either putting them in a professional whether it's a club or professional classes for your children. It could just something that you could be thinking about channelizing their creativity in a more structured way. Now Mars is going to be entering Gemini around the 11th, and Mars is going to be transiting a part of your chart that has to do with your home. It has to do with people with whom you share the space. It has to do with your mother. It has to do with your foundations, your value system. And Mars is going to be bringing up a lot of energy, and it's could make you quite defensive and quite protective of people whom you love. And I think some of you could be quite worried about your mother, and you could just generally be feeling quite protective. And you could also be having that energy and resources to do up your house. For you, some of you, you could be moving house physically, and for some of you, you could be redecorating, redoing your house, and you could just be in the process of reshifting your house, maybe packing, etc. is happening, or you've moved and you're just sort of unpacking and you're putting your house together. You could feel quite restless around this time as well, Pisces, and it's just that energy which could make you feel quite argumentative, especially as far as family members are concerned. So be a little careful over here, try not to sort of get too opinionated. And it also speaks about a lot of power struggles within family. It could be who wants to rule the roost, and you could be quite try not to get too negative, or try not to sort of shut people off or get into fights and say, there is always a midway for you, Pisces. And you may just feel that there are just too many disputes from your family, that your family is not in agreement, and there just seems to be some amount of a tussle that seems to be happening at your family front. And it could be that you may encounter, even as far as your work is concerned, you may encounter some opposition or maybe difference of opinion, as far as work is concerned. So there just seems to be some amount of friction. However, Mars being there, you must ensure from your side that you don't get into any fights and you don't get too aggressive. It's one thing to be assertive, it's another to be aggressive. Now, Mercury is going to be going retrograde on the 18th till about June 11th. And then it conjuncts Mars towards end of the month. And Mercury is going to be going retrograde in your house of Cancer. That's a place which it rules your mother, and it speaks about you're going to be looking at your home and saying, is it your sanctuary? Does it reflect who you are? Is it the place where you want to come back from work and rest? Is it that dream nest that you have created? And it could also be that some of you could be feeling quite stuck, could be feeling as if you're in a rut and that you're stuck at home, you're unable to go out. And it could be worth your while just to change your furniture, maybe change your house, the current house that you're there, Pisces. Just move things around a bit if things are very stagnant or you feel quite stuck at home. And see, one of the easy tips is you can revisit each room and see it with a stranger's eye and see what needs to get done, and just get the energy moving. At times we get so stuck with the same decor, same way of living, that there's nothing new. The new energy does not sort of flow in. And it is this house, because it also rules your foundation. You are going to be thinking about things that you were told as a child, and are they true? How much is it that you believe in them? And this speaks about your value system, and it also speaks about negative thought patterns and how it is that you view yourself through them. And also there's going to be conflict between your value system and what you want to do or you are doing. So there's just going to be this entire back and forth this month. And don't be afraid to ask yourself some fundamental questions, and old family issues with parents, with siblings may resurface this month, and you could be taking a walk down a memory lane, and it's basically a time, Pisces, to be burying the hatchet. It's not really a time to be sort of running out with a dagger and saying that, oh, I'm never going to forgive and this is how it is. So reconnect with your family and let bygones be bygones. The keywords for you, Pisces, this month are reroute, redecorate, re-establish and refurnish. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. I'll see you again next month, and thank you so much for watching.